Okay, hello everyone. Our guest speaker is here, and I'm pleased to welcome our guest speaker, Ms. Aditi Murthy. Aditi Murthy is a category manager at Nykaa, a beauty and personal care retailer that is also India's first unicorn led by a female entrepreneur. She got her undergraduate degree in chemical engineering from UDCT, Mumbai, and went on to get two master's degrees in applied economics and environmental sciences from the University of Michigan, Ann Arbor. She has had more than 5 years of work experience across consulting, project finance, and e commerce in India and the US. Hi, Aditi Murthy. Could you unmute yourself?
Yeah, hi everyone.
Would you like to say something before I start off with the questions?
Sure. So it's thanks a lot for giving me this opportunity. It's great to be here, and I hope that some of the insights that I can share and some of my own experiences that I can pass along will be helpful to all of you while you make your own choices, for your lives ahead. So thanks so much for having me, Ishita.
Great. So, what is your background? What subjects did you take up during your schooling, graduation, and further studies?
Sure. So I grew up in Bombay. All my schooling has been done in Bombay, and I went to an ICSE school, and I ended up actually taking physics, chemistry, maths, biology, English, history, geography, all of those subjects. But I also took Indian dance. So that's
Oh,
just
wow.
something I thought was a little unique to share with all of you. So I took those subjects for my ICSE. And then went on to junior college. Again in junior college, I ended up taking English, um, physics, chemistry, maths, biology, uh, all of those subjects. So I did that, finished my 12th grade, and then I went to UDCT, which is a college in Mumbai, for my chemical engineering. I studied 4 years of engineering there. And specifically in chemical engineering, I actually majored in something called polymer engineering and polymer technology, which is basically um, the science of how to make plastics and how to make paints, if I were to put it very, very simply. So I did that, and then I realized that I wanted to go abroad to study further. And I was, at the time, I was very interested in kind of how we could save our world and how to save the environment. And therefore, I applied abroad for environmental sciences degrees because I couldn't find any really good options in the country. So I went to the University of Michigan. First, started to do my MS in environmental sciences, and I was about 1 year through my graduate program there when I realized that at some point, I would want to do what they call a business role, right? I knew that I wasn't sure if I wanted to be in research or even in industry at the time. So I thought having an additional degree in economics will help me to broaden my career prospects, especially if I wanted to do something that was not fully tied into science and research. So, as I said, halfway through my graduate program, I decided to stay on and do another degree. So I actually graduated with two master's degrees in about 2.5 years. Getting that additional degree in economics was also really helpful for me because once I started to study for that degree, I could actually access a few university research assistantships which would not have been available to me otherwise because of this, other skill that I was getting. So I did that, and then once I finished my graduate school, I worked in consulting, in energy consulting actually, for a few years in the US. Always knew I wanted to move back to India. So then I moved back to India about 3 years ago, worked in project finance here at a renewable energy company for a few months. And then I realized that I wanted to do, something really consumer facing because all the work that I had done till now was very, very B2B, as we call it. It was very business to business. So I realized that I wanted to do something consumer facing, and I thought that e-commerce would be the best way to do that. And yeah, so after that, I've been at Nykaa. It'll be 3 years for me shortly. So that's briefly my background. I hope that answers your questions. But if you want me to chat about something specifically, please let me know.
No, I think that was to the point, perfect. So coming to my next question, which I'm sure a lot of people would want to know, what are the job opportunities that one can get into after they do a degree in chemical engineering?
Yeah, so I think this is a very common question that everyone has, and everyone should be thinking about as they are planning their studies, whether it is a graduate course or whether it is a postgraduate course.
Mm-hmm.
So after chemical engineering, I remember when I was graduating, there were a few options that were available to us at the time, and most of those options I think still exist today. So path number one, and a lot of my classmates have seen doing this, is they knew that they wanted to get into research and they wanted to teach. So what they did is after their engineering degree, they wrote their GRE, they wrote a few other exams. They went to the US, either got a master's in the US or sometimes even a PhD. And once they got their master's or PhD, they would either stay in research affiliated to university or even teach. So that's kind of one part, I would say, the whole uh, research and academia path. I think, when I was graduating, of course, options abroad were a lot more, but now I'm increasingly hearing of more and more options, even in India. Like, for example, ISC, I think, is a phenomenal institute, and I've actually heard a lot of people who've gotten their masters and PhDs at, say, an MIT or other prestigious universities from abroad, are actually coming back and joining there as faculty. So I think that's one option. Option number two, if you don't want to do, or if you're not sure about whether you're cut out for academia and you're cut out for teaching, option number two is, of course, a job opportunity in what we loosely call as industry. Industry could mean many things. First there are all the oil and gas companies like a Shell or an Exxon Mobil. They hire chemical engineers a lot. You could also go to, say, a paints company like Asian Paints, or a company like Godrej, which has a lot of chemical products, but also consumer products, right? Like a Good Night or something like that. So kind of either doing research for one of these kinds of companies or just managing their production. I think that's a second type of job. You could also get into pharma. I know many people who have also gotten into pharma, like a Cipla or something like that, and work in research over there. And then I guess the third bucket, if you want to call it that, would be something like what I have done. So as you may have figured out by now, my current job isn't fully in the STEM domain, particularly in the STEM domain. Having said that, my kind of training as an engineer, I think, has really equipped me with analytical skills, critical thinking skills, and just figuring out how to work with data. And I think these sorts of skills only a STEM degree can prepare you for. So even if you're not sure what you want to do at this point, but if you say, I'm just throwing an example, say you want to work for, I don't know, even a beauty company, right? Because what I work at presently is a beauty company. You can always get there having a base in, say, an engineering or a mathematics degree, because it just lets you get skills that you can apply in many sectors. So the third bucket, sorry, I digressed a little bit because I was trying to explain why the third bucket is even relevant. But yeah, the third bucket is kind of, you can either do an MBA or another non-science master's degree, if you will, and then you will go on to, get a business role or a consulting role or anything like that. I think so. These are the three, broad types of job opportunities. Yeah.
Great. Okay, so currently you're working at Nykaa, which is a very famous brand, and I'm sure a lot of us know about it. So what do you enjoy most about your job?
Sure. So as I was saying earlier, I think even when I was in engineering and I was thinking about what I wanted to do with my life, when I was saying that I wanted to kind of work in the environment and kind of do something to save the planet. Even at that point, I wanted to do something that was changing the way consumers behave and consumers think. I think it took me a long time as I went from university to university and job to job to realize this. But somewhere along the way, I realized that I wanted to do something which was really connecting me to consumers, and I could influence the way that they shop, they behave, they buy. And therefore, I think the most satisfying, or what I enjoy most about my job at Nykaa, is the fact that I'm able to influence anybody, hundreds of people to buy, X brand versus buy Y brand. So my role essentially at Nykaa is basically managing the category, right? So I manage the hair category at Nykaa, which basically means I'm responsible for the sales, marketing, revenue, etc. of all the hair brands at Nykaa. So for me to be able to see that, if we did a certain marketing campaign, these are the results, and because of this, my conversion went up, my profits went up. That's really exciting. So I think that's what I enjoy most about my job here, that I'm able to really influence consumer behavior on a day-to-day, real-time basis.
Great. We all know like STEM, like a lot of more people are getting into STEM now, and that's precisely what this organization is all about. So how do you see STEM progressing in the next few years?
So I think STEM is one of those fields which is actually, going to just, the need for STEM individuals and STEM professionals is just going to increase, whether it's in medicine because of the pandemic that we're facing right now, or, if it's in data analytics and things like that, because data is everywhere these days. Everyone has a smartphone, and there's lots of opportunities in the data space as well. Also, more and more processes are getting automated, and every time there's automation, you need engineering professionals around. So I think STEM as a broad field, from medicine to engineering to technology, is here to stay. And it's getting more and more specialized. When we used to think about science and mathematics, actually when I was growing up, STEM wasn't even a term that we knew existed. When we used to think about just science and mathematics, okay, we can do a BSc, or we can do a BA in mathematics or whatever. But now I just feel like because of the wealth of technology and data that's available, fields are also getting more and more nuanced and more specialized, which means that you are going to need more and more people equipped with these kinds of skills to do roles in these fields.
Perfect. Chemical engineering is something that, for me, for instance, I'm in the 12th grade and I still don't know what chemical engineering is really about. So how did you know what it was about? How did you choose? How did you decide on taking chemical engineering?
So that's a great question. So when I was making the choice in, I remember 11th grade, I knew that I wanted to do something related to broadly to science, because I enjoyed science. In school, I enjoyed biology, I enjoyed chemistry, enjoyed math. So these fields are, for me, I broadly enjoyed. And when I was picking, should I go for mechanical engineering or chemical engineering or something else, I think it's important to speak to someone who is currently enrolled in that program to understand what exactly it is. So just as you said, you don't know what chemical engineering is about. Before I joined, I thought chemical engineering was all about chemistry. It's not.
Yeah.
There is a certain amount of chemistry involved in it, but a lot of it is also involves concepts of physics, of mathematics. Actually, a lot of it is mathematics. So I think it's important to really ask a student who is enrolled in the program currently, and just ask him, what is it that you study on a day-to-day basis? Do you study just really ask questions, and also ask, I think, what is it that he's going to go and do after this? Because even that will give you an idea about what chemical engineering is. You learn, 4 years you learn in school what it is, but only when you go out into the real world and actually get to your first job will you actually know what it means to do chemical engineering on the job. So there are two different things, and I think you should definitely ask people in the program, as I've said, their experiences. I think that's the best way to make a decision.
Yeah, just inquiring around about what it is.
Yeah.
So I'm going to come to my last question, but I'm sure a lot of you will have questions for Miss Aditi, so you can note down your questions or type it out in the chat box. I will take up the questions after the last question. So coming to the final question, is there any advice that you would like to give us?
Yeah, I think, see, as the name of the group itself is STEM for Girls, and I think it's important to recognize that science and technology and engineering is not specific to any one gender. And I think the fact that you guys are, pushing more and more girls to kind of get into science, into engineering, into coding is great. I think the one thing that I would like to say is always have an open mind whenever you're, figuring out what you want to do. Just review all the options really carefully, and don't think that, oh, because um, don't be premature about your decisions. Like, don't be very restrictive about what you want. Sorry, I'll explain that a little bit better. So I'll give you an example, right? So when I was trying to decide, as I said, I wanted to do something broadly related to the environment, and then I was very fixated that I only want to do an MS in environmental sciences, and I went with that decision. But later on, as I met more people, I interacted more, I realized that there's also these additional things that I want to do and learn. So I think please keep an open mind, speak to as many people as you can, not just from the courses that you really really want to do, but even from different fields, because you never know what will finally um, click for you. And don't feel that, like, it's okay to not know what you want to do. I think we've all been through this. I have also been through this, and it took me a long time to figure out what I want to do. So don't judge yourself too harshly for not knowing, if you're not 100% sure, whether you want to do engineering or you want to do something else. It's okay. I think that's the second piece of feedback that I just wanted to share, because someone told me that when I was making my decisions, and that I thought that helped me a lot, took off the pressure a little bit. So yeah.
Okay, great. So I think you gave us a lot of insightful points and some great advice. Now there are a few questions that are coming up. So Dhwani is asking, how did you conclude that you wanted to do chemical engineering? Because there are so many career options. Didn't you feel overwhelmed by the options?
So yes, I did. I just, so I took it kind of piece by piece. First, I decided whether I wanted to do something related to science, to commerce, or arts. That's the first bucket, right, that you pick. I said I went in science because I felt very comfortable in science. I wasn't sure whether I would enjoy studying, say, commerce or accounting, or even, arts. May suppose I said I wanted to do a bachelor of, I don't know, philosophy or something. I wasn't sure that I'd be comfortable studying those things. So the first thing I picked was basically I wanted to do something in the sciences because I could understand science. I enjoyed it. And then after that, if I look at within science, I want to pick X kind of engineering. What I did is I kind of asked people, as I said, what mechanical engineering, what kinds of jobs are happening. I mean, what kind of jobs are people getting if they do, say, X engineering versus Y engineering? So I think, asked a lot of questions to people around me. Use your network and kind of just ask people what are their experiences, and understand that you may pick something and you may realize later that you don't think it's the fit for you, and that's okay, because as I said, engineering is such a great base that no matter what kind of engineering you do, the skills that you acquire, you can apply in any area of life. So don't feel overwhelmed by the choices.
Okay, Hita has a question here. Hita, could you unmute yourself and ask?
Hi, yeah, this is Hita. So first of all, I know there's such a similarity in what you did, like what you've done in your studies and what I want to do. I want to do the exact same thing. Basically, I want to do chemical engineering, apply to ICT, go abroad for environmental and do something like to save the world or something. But
Yeah.
then my problem is that I don't enjoy bio. So then will that be a problem for me, like to do like environmental engineering? Like,
I don't think so. I think so. Even within environmental sciences and engineering, there are lots of different fields, right? You can do something in the renewable energy space, for example, which has no biology. You can do things like there's a whole field called wastewater processing and treatment, which is basically, again, I don't think it will involve biology. So there are many subfields within environmental science and engineering which don't need biology. In my own school, in the University of Michigan, within the environmental sciences MS degree, we actually had 7 specializations, and only 2 or 3 of them were biology oriented. So you can definitely find topics and fields within environmental engineering which don't involve biology. Renewable energy is a really big one. I know there's a lot of research going on, solar panels, battery storage, all that sort of stuff. So I think even that broadly falls under the environment space, if I can call it that.
okay, thank you very much.
Okay, we have another question from Smayana. She's asking if after doing chemical engineering, can we get a good job or will we have a good future in those jobs?
So again, I think the job path, first of all, depends to a certain extent on what university you go to. For me, I was fortunate enough to go to a place where campus placements happened. The only reason I didn't sit for those placements was because I knew I wanted to kind of study something and go abroad. But I think the number one question on what kind of job will I get depends on your university that you go to and their placement committee, if I can call it that, because each university normally has a placement committee. They go out, they speak to companies, they invite them to come and sit for campus placements, etc. So I think it would primarily depend on that. Having said that, as I said before, you can work for Exxon Mobil or Shell. You can work for, as I said, a consumer company doing research, like a pharma company doing research. There are many different industry job options which are fully within the range of chemical engineering as well. And I touched upon some of those earlier. So I hope that answers your question.
I think it does. It was pretty elaborate. Does anyone have any other questions? I'll wait for another minute. If there are no questions, then we can end the session. Okay, we have another question asking what is the best college to do chemical engineering in India?
That'll probably be one of the IITs. IIT Madras is great. IIT Bombay is great. Even IIT Delhi, I think. UDCT is another really good bet, especially if you're interested in kind of doing, as I said, research, and you want to stay within chemical engineering specifically. UDCT is another great school. Yeah, these are the top 3-4 names that come to mind. For chemical engineering specifically.
Yeah. I'll wait for a few more questions if there are any. Smaina is asking if JEE Main is the exam that colleges see for getting into chemical engineering.
So I think JEE is only for I mean, it's for all types of engineering, right? It's not just for chemical engineering. I'm not the best person to ask on exams currently because I gave my exams 10 years ago and things have changed since then. But yeah, it used to be JEE in my time for all the engineering streams for IITs specifically.
Okay. So we have one last question from Krisha. Krisha, could you unmute yourself and ask?
Yeah, hi. My name is Krisha, and I had a question. Chemistry is my favorite subject in school right now, and I'm planning on taking it for my stream in engineering. But as you said, the chemical engineering does not contain much of chemistry. So I don't know if it's the right choice. So, like, what should I do?
So yeah, it's not that there will be no chemistry. There will be chemistry, but it's not. So the misconception that even I had was that chemical engineering is going to be all about chemistry. It's not that. I think as long as you don't mind, some amount of mathematics and a little bit of physics, you should go ahead. I feel. If you just completely hate mathematics and physics, both of those subjects, you just don't want to study at all, then I would say chemical engineering is not for you. Then maybe go for something like a biochemistry or something that has biology in it, because all forms of engineering will have some kind of maths or physics to it. It's very difficult to get away from those two subjects.
Yeah, okay.
If you want to do
Makes
pure
sense.
chemistry, then you'll have to do a degree in the sciences. I think that's what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So I don't think there are any more questions. So I think we'll end the session here. Thank you so much, Ms. Aditi Murthy, for being here. You gave us some great advice, great points, and I'm sure this would have helped a lot of people here who must be considering chemical engineering as a career path.
Great. Thanks so much for having me. It was my pleasure. And good luck to all of you for the rest of your lives ahead.
Thank you. You guys
Bye.
can leave now.
Thank you, ma'am.
If you all have any feedback to give us, you can